Well, John Malcolm, Vice President of the Institute for Constitutional Government at the Heritage Foundation, joins me now on Skype. John, welcome back. Good to have you on again. I want to start out by getting your impression of Judge Amy Coney Barrett as she takes questions from the senators, and no notes we saw for her. She's all answering the questions kind of on the fly, so to speak. Pretty impressive.
Yes, look, she's a stellar nominee, and she was grilled the first time she was before this committee in 2017. I've described her performance then as grace under fire, and I would say the same now. She's implacable when she gets speeches questioning, her integrity and whether she has kept her word that she didn't make any promises to any of the senators or to President Trump about how she would rule in this case or that case, and that she will keep an open mind. Many of the Democratic senators have suggested that she already has made up her mind on a number of these important issues, and she has remained calm in the face of all of that. I think she's doing a superb job.
We've heard her talk previously about the influence of Justice Scalia that he had on her. What did you think when she said that if confirmed, quote, you would not be getting Justice Scalia, you would be getting Justice Barrett? What kind of message do you think that sent?
Well, she made it very clear that even if you are an originalist and a textualist, which was Justice Scalia's philosophy that she has embraced, that doesn't mean you always reach the same result. She pointed out that Justice Thomas and Justice Scalia would, on occasion, come out with different results, even though they were both committed textualists and originalists. And she also made it very clear that even while she was clerking for Justice Scalia, she didn't always agree with him, although, of course, when she was clerking for him, it was his view that prevailed.
The Affordable Care Act, which is being challenged before the Supreme Court next month, and Judge Barrett's position on Roe versus Wade continues to be a reoccurring line of questioning from Democrats. How much of that do you think is being influenced by the upcoming presidential election, if at all?
Oh, I think a lot of this is about the upcoming presidential election. Obviously, the theme that the Democrats have chosen to go with as their predominant theme involves a challenge to the Affordable Care Act. They are pointing out that President Trump is no fan of either Roe versus Wade or the Affordable Care Act, and they are suggesting that the fix is in and that a Justice Barrett has already promised about what she would do with the pending Affordable Care Act case or about a future challenge to Roe. She's made it very, very clear that she has an open mind on all of these things and would consider the particular case in controversy that would come before her after considering the arguments of counsel and consulting with her colleagues. And that is she doesn't have an agenda either in favor of or against the Affordable Care Act, that those policy judgments belong with the senators and the folks in the House of Representatives.
John, concerns were brought up about the influence of so-called dark money from outside interest groups. Let's talk a little bit more about that and how that relates to Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation.
Well, so Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island, he's done this in many other occasions with other nominees, is suggesting that there is somehow dark money, big corporate interests who are involved in supporting particular nominees or filing particular lawsuits on behalf of conservative organizations. He rarely mentions the fact that there are folks on the left who do precisely the same thing, something that Senator Cruz pointed out. But the fact of the matter is that these judges are people of integrity, they are independent, and they are life tenured. And they are life tenured for a good and sufficient reason, which is to remove themselves from these sorts of political considerations.
One of the things she also talked about was her personal story of raising two black children and about racism and the impact of the death of George Floyd and what it had on her family. That was a pretty emotional moment. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, she made it quite clear that racism persists and that she watched the video of the George Floyd killing with her, her daughter Vivian, and also with her son John Peter, who were two black children that she and her husband Jesse adopted from Haiti, and that they wept, and that she had to explain all of this to her 10-year-old daughter Juliet, and that the persistence of racism in our society and the bad things that can flow from that have been part of a continuing conversation that she's had with her family. It was a very poignant moment and quite heartfelt, obviously.
Yeah, it definitely was. Well, John Malcolm, thank you so much for your time. John Malcolm, Vice President of the Institute for Constitutional Government at the Heritage Foundation. We thank you again for your analysis.
Good to be with you.